morning, everybody, and a happy Friday morning to you. All right, this is going to be a little bit of a longer video again. We have specific news on Harry. We have specific news about another pap walk, but the royal family's Christmas break is over. They are out and about, and there's a lot to cover. So let's just jump in and get there, shall we? Let's go. We're going to start off with Mr. Hunky Dunky, Prince William. He underwent his first public engagement of 2025. He went to Birmingham and attended the inaugural Emergency and Critical Care Conference, where he met with senior leaders and speakers at the College of Paramedics. First thing I noticed, Mr. Hunky there was so tall, he literally had to bend his head to get into the door. And then when he walked into the room, people were shocked because apparently they were not expecting him. Swear. Now, earlier on Wednesday, they announced that William is now the new patron of the College of Paramedics. We already know he is a passionate supporter of Birmingham-based football club Aston Villa. He has strong links to, that part of the city. Now, this conference focused on supporting emergency responders in making crucial decisions under pressure. And so, of course, we know that Prince William has extensive experience in emergency services. Remember, he was a helicopter pilot. He has extensive experience. So he delivered a speech to the conference delegates, and he watched some key sessions on trauma, critical care, search and rescue, helicopter mission techniques. Remember, he was an air ambulance and a Royal Air Force search and rescue pilot. And throughout all of his work, Prince William maintained a strong focus on the health and well-being of emergency responders. For those of you who are unaware, the College of Paramedics was established in 2001, and it is an organization for UK paramedics that are registered with the Health and Care Professionals Council. They have over 200,000 members. That's a lot. And they develop the paramedic profession through advocacy for professional standards and learning. They focus on supporting paramedics' mental health and well-being since its inception, and it was granted the Royal Charter of Incorporation by King Charles III, February of 2024. How wonderful is that? Now, after that, William went around and talked with people that were there, other paramedics. You know what I see when I see these people talking to William? I see people that respect him. That's what I love. Now, the next thing that happened was William dropped into I guess you would call it a pub. It's Weatherspoons at the train station in Birmingham, and there were Aston Villa fans in the pub, and so he just decided to go in, buy some people a pint of, they're calling it Bulmer's cider. He sat around with them, he watched some of the game, took some selfies with them. There was like 8 football fans there. He spent half an hour talking to them, and then he got on the train going back to London. Apparently, one of the guys that was there said they were contacted by the club saying that William wanted to meet a delegation of Villa fans because he was in Birmingham and he wanted to be keeping in the loop. He said it's just fabulous. He's not a fair-weathered fan. He really loves the club with a passion. And we talked about the club, the transfers, the pending Championship League, all things Aston Villa. Doesn't surprise me. All right, moving on. Let's move on now to King Charles. This is really interesting. Rod Stewart was there to help out. So what's going on is King Charles put a personal letter in a time capsule that's going to be opened in the 100 years. Charles was the first person to put an item in the King's Foundation capsule. They were at Dumfries House. They are celebrating the 35th anniversary of the charity. And as you can see, there's Sir Rod Stewart and his wife, Penny Lancaster. This was an organization that was founded initially as the Prince of Wales Institute of Architecture in 1990. So what they're going to do, what they're planning on doing, is collecting items which represent the work over the coming year, and then they're going to bury the time capsule on the estate under the condition that it's not opened until 2125. That's a long time. King Charles afterwards attended a reception with community representatives, students, alumni, ambassadors, all those kinds of people at the Dumfries House in Scotland. On an interesting note, the Earl of Snowdon, Princess Margaret's son, was, first cousin to King Charles. He was spotted during the reception, which I think was lovely. Skipping with King Charles, and because he was already at Dumfries' house, he had an audience with Julius Bio. That man is the president of Sierra Leone. Ooh, sounds very regal. Love it. All right, this next story, I don't exactly agree with it, but here we go. We know that Prince Andrew lives at the Royal Lodge, in Windsor on the Windsor estate. And apparently there was a dinner held at Windsor Castle last week. It was hosted by Princess Anne, and it was to honor Andrew's alma mater, his school, which he attended with King Charles and Prince Edward. And I guess Andrew felt that he should have been invited, but Princess Anne is the warden for the school. It was like an official royal thing. Why does Andrew feel that he should be there? Now, Anne didn't enroll at this school, which was, by the way, $75,000 a year, but Peter Phillips and Zara went there. And I believe Andrew felt that since he went to that school, he should have been there. Now, here's the thing. Edward went there. Edward wasn't there for the dinner. Neither was Peter. Neither was Zara. In her role as warden for this school, allegedly, Anne held a very small, intimate dinner event with a small number of guests. Andrew, listen, it's just what it is. Andrew can't work as a working royal anymore, but he still wants to be invited to these small little events. But I agree with Anne. I think it would have been inappropriate to have him there, in my personal opinion. All right, let's move on. All right, I've already spoken to you about Catherine and the fact that she's come out and told everybody that she is now officially in remission. But a story came out because of one of the people she met while she was at the Cancer Institute. This gentleman you're looking at, his name is Peter Burton. He's 60 years old, and he was chatting with Catherine, the Princess of Wales, during her visit on Tuesday, and he said, "She made me feel like the only person in the room." He said, we were told we were going to meet a VIP. My guest was Prince William. He said, I was absolutely shocked when it was Catherine. And he said, speaking to her, since she's already been through cancer herself, was really special. He said, I felt like she really empathized with me and what I'm going through, and she's personable and genuinely interested in what I had to say and took time to be one-on-one with me, which am I surprised by that? Not one bit. Now, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, not Kate Middleton, also opened up on the fact that there are some long-term side effects to the chemo. She said it's a real challenge, like you're talking and the words just disappear. Understanding that as a patient there are side effects, but actually there's some more long-term effects, and that, the whole family is affected. I agree. Let's move on now to Secret Weapon Soapy, who went to the community shop. Now, for those of you who don't know what it is, it's an initiative. There's over 13 UK locations, and this is where people can go to purchase affordable and good food and socialize with community members, okay? You meet new people, you have good food at discounted prices, you get support with life-changing programs. And so Sophie went there. Let's not forget she's going to be 60 on January 20th. Now, while Sophie was there, she was able to look at the items that are up for sale at discounted prices, which is really good for a lot of the community members. She also got hands-on helping to serve meals in what they call the community cafe. This place really helps tackle food insecurity. I wish they had some places like this in the United States. You know what I mean? You're either up or you're way down, but there's nothing like this where older people can just get together, talk, and help buy food at discounted prices. In the meantime, they also presented her with a birthday cake, which she obviously loved. A big thank you to Remoulade Sauce for showing us what she was wearing. Let's move on now. All right, let's move on now to Harry and Meghan. Remember, Justine Bateman came out and said that they were tragedy tourists? Well, one of their representatives said that Harry and Meghan were heartbroken, that those comments were offensive. Why am I not shocked that once again they're playing the victim card? We're offended. How dare you say that? Yeah, get over yourselves. Next up, remember, Harry is, fighting for his UK protection. He's doing an appeal, but he's returning to UK, to London, to attend the High Court trial against News Group newspapers. And so they're saying now that he will be given, quote, limited police protection when he comes back to the UK. The Met is apparently trying to recruit officers on their days off because they don't have any spare staff. And in the meantime, it is reported now that Harry was offered a place to stay at Buckingham Palace and he turned it down, which means that the staff is going to be stretched even further. The police are going to be stretched even further because he won't be on the grounds of the palace for protection. I'm sorry, but the fact that he was offered a secure place to stay and he turned it down, I don't think the police should be stretched extra to protect him at some hotel because he doesn't want to stay on palace grounds. Sorry, I would say no to that one, but that appeal needs to finish up. All right, let's move on. All right, Kelly Osborne, she was very politically correct in this, but she basically put out a statement and she said, quote, "Is it just me being my usual cynical self, or is it really disturbing to see celebrities using other people's pain and suffering as a photo op to say, look, I'm helping, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I don't believe you help so that you can get attention for helping. I believe you should help just because you want to." I think we all know, even though she didn't call out names, who she was talking about. The whole freaking world, all of Hollywood has their number, let me tell you. You know who else spoke out? Candice Owens. Because if you notice in one of the video clips that I showed you, Meghan was talking to some woman. It's almost like the woman wanted her to do something. And Meghan was like, yeah, I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. And she stooped over like she was going to do something. And all she did was lift the lid off of a plastic bin. So Owens goes, she stooped down and picked up the lid of a plastic bin, and that's how I knew my girl was real. And I just want to thank Meghan for doing that. It's very helpful for her to stoop down and do that. She said, I agree with the general public sentiment that Harry and Meghan are inauthentic ambulance chasers. Well, I think we all think that at this point. Let's move on to Meghan, who apparently has not learned her lesson. So she was spotted volunteering, supposedly. She was filmed arriving at an organization called Altadena Teen Girls, which a local girl launched to support the community following the wildfires, a 14-year-old. She wanted to help young girls, quote, regain their sense of self and confidence. So the company shared a reel online and they show Meghan arriving with a huge bag of donations made through her and Harry's Archwell. So again, everything is a tax write-off. They did it through Archwell. Now, there's a few things about that reel that bother me. So we're going to cover these little by little, okay? So the first thing I've noticed, and I'm going to replay the reel for you, is that it almost looks like Meghan tries to hug this girl and she steps backwards away from her. Like she's trying to put distance between her and Meghan. The second thing I want you to notice is the bags that Meghan is carrying. Let me zoom in. Do you guys see that? Our Place. She's merching. Let me explain. Do you guys remember when she did that luncheon for the Afghan women? It's the people from the Welcome Project. They have a very expensive line of cookware, which I'm willing to bet you're going to see on the Netflix show. So she's merching her friends' cookware line through the bags. There is always self-promotion. There is always an angle for Meghan. Do you see at the bottom? Meghan collaborated on that cookware. Of course she's going to merch it. So of course, within days of being photographed, there just happens to be another photographer there to catch her incognito. This girl cannot read the room. There's something seriously wrong with her. You should also know they're claiming that Harry and Meghan gave a monetary donation, but they're not saying how much. So I guess we'll find out when the tax returns come out how much they actually gave, unless of course it came out of their own pockets, which I gotta be honest, I highly doubt. So they gave a donation. They made sure people knew they gave the donation. She shows up to help at a girls' charity thing. She brings bags to merch the cookware line that she's trying to sell. She's learned nothing. She's just making people hate her more and more. I don't understand why she can't read the room. All right, you guys, you know what to do. Hit the like and the subscribe button and the bell for all notifications. Hit that thumbs up for my algorithm, then go down into the description box where you'll find the links to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, my Patreon, which is currently paused, my Amazon wishlist, and my physical address. For those of you who've donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.